Let me tell you something most people don't expect you to open up about. I dropped out of college twice, not once, but twice. I hated school and I didn't understand why I had to sit through 4 classes a semester at someone else's place. It felt slow, it felt rigid, and honestly, it felt like I was wasting time. So when I first heard about WGU, I was skeptical. But when I realized it was regionally accredited, competency-based, self-paced, that pretty much changed everything for me. I ended up finishing my bachelor's in cybersecurity in 9 months. And let me explain how that happened. I think the biggest reason WGU worked for me was speed. You can stack courses. If you understand the material, you don't have to wait 16 weeks just to prove it. If you take the assessment and you pass it, you move on the first time. That model works really well if you already have experience, already have certifications, and you're disciplined. When I started, I already had the Security Plus and a few other certs. WGU accepted those as transfer credits for certain courses. So instead of retaking content I already knew, I got credit and kept moving. And some of my friends graduated in one term, one semester. And that's something you just don't see at these traditional school. Once you knock out your first course, something clicks. You realize that you control the pace. And once you feel that momentum, you get really hungry. That's what happened to me. My mentor was Amy Black, and she was amazing, but here's something people don't tell you. You have to earn your mentor's trust. When I first spoke to her, I was very clear. I told her I wasn't here to play no games. I wanted to graduate fast, and then I backed it up by actually finishing courses quickly. So when she saw I was serious, she let me stack more classes at once. She supported me, she coached me, and she really looked out for me. So if you get a good mentor and show discipline, it really does change the experience completely. The instructors at WG were decent overall. Some were more active than others though, but most tried to help when you reached out. And testing was structured in 2 main ways. You either had written assessments, where you basically had to research and write structured papers, or objective assessments, which were more like traditional exams. If you already knew the material, you could take the test immediately. So if you passed, you got credit and you moved on to the next. That flexibility is really powerful, but not every class is easy. Cryptography really did humble me. I had to actually sit down and grind through that material. So I wouldn't necessarily say WGU is easy, it's more flexible, and that's a big difference. Now let me be honest about something. The cybersecurity program included a lot of CompTIA certs, a lot of certs in general, and in my opinion, more than necessary. You don't need a stack of entry-level certs to get started in security. Realistically, you need one strong foundational cert to open doors, and that's the Security Plus. Security Plus meets the DoD 8570 requirements, which qualifies you for certain government and defense contractor roles at the IAT Level 2 tier. That cert alone opens a lot of opportunities, especially if you're interested in federal or government adjacent roles. And that's why I recommend it to people breaking into security. If I had to do it again and my main goal was speed, I might have chosen cloud computing, networking, or IT instead. So security sits on top of those foundations anyway. But overall, the experience worked for what I needed at that time. Another underrated part of WGU is the community. So if you attend, first thing you need to do is make a Reddit account and join the WGU subreddit for your major. People share their experiences, what classes were tough, what resources helped, and basically how they accelerated. The community is honest and extremely helpful. Now let's zoom out for a second. Do you actually need a degree to start in IT? No. Especially at the beginning, what you need is proof of skill. If you're starting today, I will prioritize building a small project portfolio hosted on GitHub or Notion, 3 or 4 projects, so at least 2 that you understand deeply, not just projects you copy from a tutorial, but projects where you can explain what you built, what broke, how you fixed it, and what you'd improve. When you know your projects like the back of your hand, interviews feel way different. Technical questions don't throw you off, behavioral-based questions don't feel forced. You have real examples to pull from. That approach helped me land interviews and offers, and let's talk about LinkedIn. I used to hate LinkedIn, but it works if you use it correctly, not by just clicking apply. In this market, applying blindly sends your resume into a backlog. There's mass layoffs and heavy competition. You have to be more intentional. What worked for me was adding recruiters and hiring managers from companies I actually like, companies I actually wanted to work for, sending direct messages, introducing myself clearly, mentioning shared experiences or shared schools, asking about roles or referrals, being personal. That cuts through all the noise and nonsense. You make it easier for them to notice you. One more thing people don't talk about enough is soft skills. Coming from Louisiana, where everyone is social and expressive, IT was an absolute culture shock for me. A lot of people are extremely technical but struggle with communication. So if you can combine technical ability with confidence, clarity, and respect, you will stand out like a sore thumb. You don't have to be loud, you just need to be clear and dependable. So yeah, overall, WG worked for me because it was flexible, regionally accredited, and it rewarded discipline. It allowed me to move fast. It accepted my certs. It was cheaper and more efficient than traditional school for my situation. But it's not magic. Your outcome depends on your effort. And whether you go to WGU or not, your long-term leverage will come from building real skills, and that's creating proof of work, networking intentionally, and communicating clearly. The degree can open doors, but skill and clarity will keep you in the room. Make sure you give me a thumbs up and subscribe. I have free resources at the bottom. You just tap the link. If you need projects or project ideas, you can get access to my free project generator that walks you through how to do a project, and it also creates bullets for your resume. You just sign up for it, get access to my newsletter.